So today we're going to talk about the new Agent ISO and his abilities. Let's just dive straight into it. Here's the first one, the E. Start a focus timer. Once completed, enter a flow state during which downed enemies you kill or damage generate an energy orb. Shooting this orb grants you a shield which absorbs 1 instance of damage from any source. So this is what it looks like just here. So you've got 2 charges of it, as you can see at the bottom here. So it gets a little timer and then it comes down. And then you get a kill or damage, you shoot this orb, and then I'm going to assume here that then you survive whatever the next damage is. Now, do you survive the damage forever? Do you only survive it for when this double tap thing it says in here is? Right, are we going to see anything else in this video? It doesn't look like it just ends. So that's my question, right? Like, does it say here? So, shooting this orb grants you a shield which absorbs 1 instance of damage from any source. I mean, it seems to say, like, you know, that doesn't necessarily have a timer. That's a question, you know, that's something we're going to have to figure out, I guess. And you get 2 of those. So, obviously, anytime you feel like you're about to do damage, you're going to tap this. And then, if you do any damage, you're going to be invulnerable. That seems pretty good. Okay, next up here is the Q, which is called Undercut. Equip a molecular bolt. Fire to throw it forward, applying a brief fragile to all players it touches. The bolt can pass through solid objects, including walls. Okay, so let's just take a quick look at this one as well. So, something that you throw out, and it said fragile? Is that a new keyword? It kind of looks like vulnerable. The little debuff effect here. Do they mean vulnerable? Is that like a translation thing? You know, that it's got mistranslated? Don't quite know. It just kind of looked like it. And fragile, vulnerable, you would assume that kind of sounds like it's doing the same sort of things where they take double damage. If fragile is something else, obviously we'll get to know that. And this had 2 on it. It's not on this one for some reason, but on the other one it has 2 of charges of this. So you fire to throw it forward and it gives something fragile. Okay. Interesting and or vulnerable. I'm gonna guess that this means vulnerable, but I don't know. But okay, interesting. Good that it can go through walls as well. That's actually quite a nice little ability to have. And you know, vulnerable, if it is fragile, is a good keyword. Okay, the next ability here is Contingency. Equip to assemble prismatic energy. Fire to push an indestructible wall of energy forward that blocks bullets. So you might have just caught it here, but we'll just play it again for you. So kind of looks like a harbor wall, I guess, but just a harbor wall that you cannot shoot. Interesting. I mean, the harbor cascade is pretty good. I think you only got 1 charge of this. I'm pretty sure if we go up to the top, yeah, you only got, so you get 1 charge of the wall, you get 2 of the little orbs, you get 2 of the signature ability, but just 1 of the wall. But hey, an indestructible wall, right? Again, it doesn't seem quite as wide maybe as like a harbor cascade. It seems a bit narrower. So it might be better for some maps than others. And then, you know, like Haven Sea Long, pretty good, right? You know, in other areas, maybe not so good because it might not be fully wide enough to like stop line of sight. But even so, it looks pretty decent. I'm not going to lie. And having this be indestructible, it's going to create pressure on those people coming in. I'm guessing you can't stop it like harbor can. I would guess, but I don't know. So interesting. Quite an interesting one. And then finally, the ult, Kill Contract. Equip an interdimensional arena. Fire to hurl a column of energy through the battlefield, pulling you and the first enemy hit into the arena. You and your opponent duel to the death. So it looks like this. So that they just added the gulag. We got the gulag in Valorant. Now, again, I have some questions. Oh my god, look at this. There's definite questions here that I have to ask. I have so many questions about this, right? I mean, 1, it's cool. Let's be real. I mean, it's pretty cool. But, like, how does it work with the time on the clock, right? Does time not exist in this place? What happens if you don't hit an opponent with it? Is that even possible? Will it just go until it finds an opponent? I don't know, but it looks fun. It looks fun. It looks cool. Oh, and pro play. I mean, imagine going into the gulag in pro play. Oh my god, that's going to be so cool. Okay, I mean, it's cool. That is cool. How much does the ult cost? Let's just take a quick look at the top here. So the ult costs for 7. At least on this, right? Again, that could change, right? This could have been like an earlier version and now they've made it 8 or whatever. But at least on this, it seems to cost 7. Which is very, very interesting. I mean, looking at this overall, obviously, most recently we had Gecko and Deadlock, who obviously didn't come out like hard hitting. So I was always a bit thinking like, hey, it's a duelist coming out. People like duelists. We haven't had a good agent in a while. Probably going to be pretty good. And definitely for ranked. I mean, in ranked, this has to be good, right? I mean, even this thing here, like that has to be good. Obviously, this signature ability, getting 2 charges of it feels pretty good. And also just like, you know, that's just gonna be, it's just gonna be good, I guess. And apparently you only have to do damage, right? You don't even need a kill. It says kill or damage. So you don't even need a kill to then like get a little shield that makes you invulnerable. Now that's only going to be for 1 bullet, I'm going to guess, right? It's just 1 bullet, and then the second bullet that hits you will do damage again, I'm going to guess. Obviously against a Razor, it's really good. But against like, you know, a Molly or something that, you know, just catches the edge of you, you know, it's gone. So, and sometimes this will be really useful. Others, maybe not as much. Obviously you have to shoot the orb. I don't know what would happen even. What if you didn't shoot the orb, right? Like, I guess it just goes down. I mean, I honestly don't. I guess you just don't get the shield. If you have to shoot the orb, I guess. So quite an interesting ability. It's gonna be good for ranked, I think. Yeah, pretty good. And yeah, just a decent ability. When it comes to this one, the undercut, again, I'm assuming that this means vulnerable. If it is something different, that's gonna potentially change. It looks like the debuff from vulnerable, but I'm not quite sure. And look, I think vulnerable is a pretty good ability. You know, you can combo it with quite a few things as well. You know, maybe at Wimber we'll get a little ISO raise kind of stuff going on. You die to a raise nade straight away from a vulnerable kind of effect. Like, it could be pretty useful. The fact that it goes through walls as well, kind of dig it. You know, we don't really see how far does this go. Just quickly check, like, how far does this like end? Is this like the distance of it? Kind of looks like that's the distance of it. So it doesn't go like super far. So for maybe maps like Breeze, right, it won't be super useful, that kind of ability if it doesn't go that far. But still an interesting ability. Then this wall, I mean, I like a Harbor Cascade. I think Harbor Cascades are pretty good. So having just a wall that you can't even shoot through, that's quite nice. Again, it looks like it just ends though, unlike the Cascade, which obviously stays up. It looks like it is just going to end, which makes sense, right? This is like the duelist version of it. You just can't shoot it. So that makes sense. But still, stuff like this, it is pretty good, right? Denying line of sight, you can't even shoot through it. Pretty good. Might even help you get the spike down in certain instances, right? Again, I'm going to assume you can't stop it, which would be nicer if you could. But looks like a decent ability. And then this, I mean, this is just... Again, I have a lot of questions about how exactly this will work. I mean, you can kind of see there. It kind of looks like it has an edge to it, right? So you can kind of see, like, the edge over here to it. And actually, when they fire it out as well, it looks like it has an edge. So I'm going to guess that if there's no one in the kind of realm that you hit, I'm going to guess it's a pretty big space, kind of like a Fatal or something. But I'm going to guess if there's no one in that space, you just don't get this, right? And then... you two just go into a 1v1 battle. I mean, it's cool. If I'm being real, like, at the highest levels, this isn't that good of an ult. Right? Like, it really isn't. And I don't know what happens. Like, once you get the kill, does it show us? Like, you just go back to where you are. Aren't you a free kill? A lot of the time? Do you know what I mean? Like, when you come out of it, are you just gonna be like a free sitting duck? Like, oh, that's where he ulted from. Just knife him. You know what I mean? And it's not like they can't win the 1v1, right? As far as I can tell, you don't get an advantage in the 1v1. I don't know also, is this always the same, right? Do you, when you cast it, do you always get this and they get that? Or do these change? Don't know. I mean, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. It's super cool. I'm going to guess that you get the gun that you had before. This person has a sheriff, right? It's not we're automatically just going with sheriffs. No, yeah. So I'm going to guess you go in with the gun that you've got. And you're just in there in a 1v1. I mean, again, cool. As an ult, I don't think it's super useful, to be honest, because it's still just a 1v1 that, I mean, if you lose, you lose. Although, again, I guess the same is true for them, that if you catch them, will they go to where they were and be a free kill? So, it's a weird one that has a lot of different moving pieces to it, and I have questions about it as well. But it's cool. It's definitely cool. And so, yeah. At the very least, it looks fun. Right, at the very least, it's an agent that I think a lot of people will just enjoy playing, which is good, right? I don't think that this is like completely game breaking at definitely higher levels. Maybe at lower levels this will be strong, right? For those people who just want to aim, you know, focus on their aim and nothing else. Like, yeah, that'll be cool, right? People just won't buy anything else. Obviously, we don't know the cost of things yet. We don't know like all the specifics necessarily of everything yet, like how far everything goes and stuff like that. And it is what is fragile. Still, could be something different. If it is, I guess we'll find out at some point. But yeah, this is cool, I think, and I'm gonna leave it there. Go and watch the little trailer for the cinematic as well. That was definitely very cool. You should go and check that out on the Valorant channel. And yeah, I'm looking forward to playing this agent, I guess. It's probably not for me though.